is that I use function and magic box interchangeably. I just want you to understand the concept of that magic box is the same thing as that of function. Let's learn about function. What is function? And maybe you heard function several times, but you don't know what is function. Or maybe you are learning programming, you come to the point that you need to know what is function. So in this video, I'm going to teach you about function, and if you stay to the end of this video, at the end you're going to know how to create function, what is parameter, argument, and anything related to function. So let's start. Imagine a function like a magic box. A magic box where you just call it and it will do something magically for you. Imagine a magic box that whenever you call it, it's going to say hello. So that's the same thing with function. Whenever we call function is just like that magic box that is going to do something for us. But what we don't know is that what is inside that magic box. What is inside the magic box is the logic that function is going to work on it. Based on how you define the logic inside the magic box, or I said function, is the way it's going to act. So imagine a magic box that do something whenever you call it, like say hello. So it's the same thing with function. Whenever we create a function is like that magic box. So when we call the function, so whenever we put inside the magic box, the logic we put is going to be executed. So let's see an example of creating a magic box that's going to say hello whenever we call that magic box. So for us to create a magic box, or I set a function, we're going to start with a keyword called define. This is a keyword in Python programming. Whenever you call this keyword def, Python programming knows that, okay, now the programmer is about to create that magic box, or a programmer is about to create a function. So when I say def, then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the name of my magic box, which is I'm going to call it say hello. That's the name of my magic box, say hello. So you notice that when I write def keyword telling Python, okay, I'm about to create a magic box, then I put this say hello, this is the name of my function. Then when I write the name of my function, in front of it, I'm going to put open and close parentheses. This open and close parentheses, look at them like a door to that box. So you can open the box, you can close the box. So look at this parenthesis like that. It's like a door to that box. So then we're going to put a colon. So now we define our function. So whatever we put below this def keyword and say hello to our name of the function, whatever we define here, that is going to happen when we call our function, or when we call our magic box. So let's do something simple like print. We want our magic box to just say hello whenever we call it. So we're going to just say print. So whenever we call our magic box, or I say function, is going to say hello, I am a magic box. So let's run our code and see. So notice that we run our code, but nothing happens. Yes, the reason is that we did not call our magic box. Our magic box is just somewhere in our computer, and he's just sitting down and chilling. We did not call it. So if we don't call it, it's not going to do anything to us. So we have to come and call it. So we have to come down here and call our magic box. So how do you call our magic box? We're going to call the name that we assign to that magic box, which is in our case here, we just call it say hello. So when you call it, make sure at the end you put open and close parentheses. So this is exactly. So now when we call this say hello, so whatever we define inside this say hello is going to be executed. So it's like here, now we call our magic box, and what is inside the magic box is going to be executed. So now let's run the program once again. So now you notice that we have our output say hello, I am a magic box. So now we understand how we can create our function, or I set our magic box. So notice that I use function and magic box interchangeably. I just want you to understand the concept of that magic box is the same thing as that of function. So now we understand our example. So now let's create our next magic box, which is, in this case, our magic box, if you notice, we did not put anything to it. We did not tell him to accept anything from anyone. When you just call it, it's going to just say, hello, I'm a magic box. So what if we create our next magic box, where when we call it, we have to give it something. For example, let's say a number or a text. Then he will collect that thing, and behind the scenes is going to use that thing that we put it inside, and you're going to use it inside the box and do his magic, and then he's going to give us an output. So how do we create that kind of function that's going to accept something to go inside it so that it can work with that thing? So in this case, again, we're going to use our def keyword, telling the Python that we are about to create a function, and then we put the name of the function, which is let's call it add numbers. And then, so in this case, we want our function to accept two numbers. Whenever we call it, we have to pass in two numbers. So let's call that number as n1 and the second number as n2. So we just think that whenever we pass a number, or we take a number and put it inside the function, is going to, the first number is going to stand as n1 and the second number is going to stand at n2. Then what do you want going to do with that numbers? We're going to add them together. So let's just say print n1 plus n2, and let's add some, let's say the summation. So by doing that, when we call our function, let's call our magic box, which is add numbers, we just say add numbers, and then we're going to pass two numbers. So if I pass like 4 and 6, so we call our magic box and we give it two numbers. The first number 3 is going to stand as n1, and the 6 is going to stand as s2 and as n2. So then now we add it, we tell him what to do with that numbers whenever we pass them inside. So let's run our code and see the output. So you can see this is the output. You say the summation, then say is print 9. Exactly, if you notice, we pass 3 and 6, which is equivalent to 9. So this is these two variable, like what I said, placeholder that I put here, we call them parameters. So in this case, my function takes only 2 parameters. So if I like, I can write more than one I can write like thousands of parameters. If I like, I can put any amount of parameters that I want. So whenever you tell your function to accept something, that thing that you tell him to accept is called parameter. And then when we give it that thing, that's what we call argument. As you can see here, this 3 is an argument and this 6 is also an argument. And this argument is going to go inside the function and it's going to execute this line of code. So I hope you understand what is parameter and argument. So but you might hear most of the time there is some function that you have to put it inside print. For example, if I said print, let's see what is going to happen. If I said print, then I said add numbers. Now our function is now taking it and also print it out. So what are we going to get? If we run it, you see, we get the output, say the summation is 9, and then at the end we notice we have something which is none, and we do not tell our function to output none or something like that. So the reason is that we call function inside a function. When we pass this function, print is also a function, and then we give it this function to print it out. So but this our function, it doesn't return anything. That means when we call our magic box doesn't give out something. It's only going to perform some magic, and that's all. But we want it to give out something. So in this case, we have to call something what we call a return. This return, then we're going to pass whatever we want it to be give out, instead of just telling us we just want it to give out. There is difference between print and return. In print, it's just like our magic box is going to say it out loud, like the summation is 9. This is what our magic box did. But the return, so I hope you understand. So in this case, since I use this return keyword, our magic box is going to return this. So when we return this, now we have the capability to print it out. And previously, the reason it's showing this none, because we are returning nothing. We don't return anything. That's the reason why he's showing this none. So let me clear out my terminal and let's see. If we run it, now you see saying the summation 9. It gives us an output. So I hope you understand how functions work. And this return keyword, whenever we call this return keyword, no matter what we pass below it, it's not going to run. For example, if I just say multi equals to n1 times n2. So whatever we pass below this function, below this return keyword, is not going to be executed, because the moment this return keyword is hit inside our function, is going to completely stop the function from working and get out of the function. That's the reason why this function is not going, and this line of code is not going to be executed, because this return keyword will not allow the function to go below it. It will just say the function, okay, since you hit return, that's all. We finish here. So this is all about function, and if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section below. See you in our next video where I understand the concept of modules. So I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up.